Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about the LLB first semester exams which will be conducted by Osmania University from 8th to 17th onwards. I'll be talking about the pattern of the exam. I'll be talking about how to write the exam and other things. So firstly I am here on the Osmania University website where you will be finding the timetable under the examinations tab, and by clicking on examination timetable I'll get the timetables of all exams which are being conducted. So we have the LLB timetable here. So first thing to note is that the exams are from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So this is a very good thing. Otherwise you would wake up at 8 a.m. then you would leave for the exams. But when you have timings from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. you can have about 6 to 8 hours extra depending on your time of waking up. So you'll have 6 to 8 hours for studying and uh, revising the questions before the exam. So first we have law of contracts on 8th, family law on 10th, constitutional law you have an extra day holiday, so you will have 11th, 12th, and then the exam will be conducted on 13th. Next, law of torts you have on 15th, and then environmental law, the last paper will be on 17th. So next, coming to the pattern of the paper. So this is the sample, this is the 2014 paper. So the pattern is the same today also. So first you have part A. Part A will consist of 8 questions, out of which you need to answer 5. So 5 questions need to be answered. So it will come for 30 marks. Then you have, these are short answers. Then you have part B. 4 questions will be asked in part B, out of which you need to answer 2 of them. So these questions are for 15 marks each, so 30 marks again. And then lastly part C, where you will be given 4 problems or questions, and out of which you need to answer 2 again for 20 marks. So total paper is for 80 marks, 20 will be counted from internals. So coming to the questions, so most of the students will have problems in the part C. So the part C is not just question and answer. So the part C is not just any question and answer. You will be asked problem, you will have to provide the solution or advise the party about what to do, how he can move, etc. So we'll take the first one for example. A complains that an officer of state is preventing him without the authority of law to practice his profession. Has he a right to move the Supreme Court of India directly? So in this case the facts are, A is a person that is being prevented from practicing his profession, and the person that is preventing him is the officer of the state. So the fact in issue is whether he has a right to move the Supreme Court of India or not. So the principles which will be involved in this case are the fundamental right of freedom of trade, business and profession, that is article 19(1)(g). Under 19(1)(g) we have the fundamental right of freedom of practicing any trade or profession. So the second part of the question is whether he has a right to move the Supreme Court. So whenever any fundamental right is infringed or violated, you can directly move the Supreme Court under article 32. So in this case there are 2 principles involved, so you need to talk about these both principles, and lastly you need to provide a conclusion wherein you will talk about the specific case. So in this case it is not written whether A here is a citizen or not, because article 19(1)(g) is applicable only to citizens. Like any foreigner cannot come to India and say that I'll start a company, I'll do business here. He can't do that. He won't have the fundamental right under 19(1)(g). So it is not mentioned whether A is a citizen or not. So you need to mention the same in the conclusion also, whether he is, what will happen if it is a if he is a citizen, what will happen if he is not a citizen. So if he is a citizen, then he can claim these both remedies and directly approach the Supreme Court also. So I'll now talk about the answer sheet booklet which will be provided to you. So you will be provided an answer booklet of 32 sides. Out of those 32 sides, the first 2 sides will go towards the rules and your information which will be needed to be filled by you. So 2 sides will be decreased. So you will have 30 sides left. So and 30 side, and you won't be provided any extra answer sheets. And 30 sides are enough. And you so next thing, you 30 sides are not much. You can finish them within 2 hours also. In the COVID era, we had exams of 2 hours where we were having one less part A, one less part B, and one less part C question. So at that time also we could finish 30 questions depending on the exam. So if there is an exam where there is not much matter to fill, like legal, language, jurisprudence, then you will have problem. But all the other exams, there will be enough matter to be filled, and you can easily fill 30 sides also. And generally I fill about 2 to 3 sides per part A and 8 to 10 sides per part B and 2 to 3 sides again for part C. It will depend on the amount of matter that in the case of part C, it will depend on the amount of matter. So in this case there are 2 principles. Sometimes cases will have only 1 principle. So I couldn't elaborate it much, but generally this will be 2 to 3 sides. So it will take about 10 to 15 sides. Then this will take about 16 sides. So 26, and lastly this 30. So about 30 sides will be enough for you. And next, coming to how to manage the time. So usually what I do is, I first go for a part B. I write my first answer very well, and I take about 40 minutes of the time. After that, I will just divide the time up and write accordingly. So after writing this answer, I will give another 30 minutes for another long answer. Then after that, I will do one of these answers in 10 minutes each. So 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 50 minutes for that. So 70 plus 50, 120. So there is still 1 hour left. So you can divide up your time according to the time it takes you. So like that you need to manage the time, but you keep watching the clock or the wristwatch, and keep watching the clock and the wristwatch, and don't lose focus of the time, because if you get stuck, then you won't be getting extra time and you may lose an answer and marks. So this was the general overview of how the exams will be there, how the pattern is, how you should be attempting. Next, coming to, so like this part C is being answered, another example I will also give you. So the Supreme Court directed the central government to enact a uniform civil code within a period of 6 months. Is such direction binding on the government? So there is a principle, there is a rule of precedent called obiter dicta. So it is an observation made by the Supreme Court, and it is not binding on the government. So there was a case also on this matter, which is a popular case on bigamy called Sarla versus Union of India. So in this case you have to mention both of them, obiter dicta as well as Sarla versus Union of India. So this was the general overview of the pattern, how the booklet will be provided, how you should be managing your time, etc. So we at Krishna Tutorials have also launched a new course on the first semester classes, and will be coming out with new courses from time to time. So in our first course, we are providing constitutional law, contract law, law of torts, family law, live and recorded session, doubt clearing sessions, flashcards for revision. So this is being charged at 899 according to the internet handling charges. So if you are in need of the classes, then you can uh, contact us, or you can contact Krishna, or drop a or download the app and directly purchase the course. And lastly coming to how you should prepare for the exam, what all you should study. So I would advise you to study everything, but in case you don't have enough time, then you can check the previous questions and see how many times a question is being repeated. And most of the cases, the questions will be repeated and you may get the same questions again. So I have been preparing like this for the past 3 years, and it has worked for me mostly. Once or sometimes the question paper is different, but if you have a basic understanding, then you can attempt the question paper. So if you have time, you can read everything, and I advise you to read everything, because it is all are law subjects only. But in case you don't have time, you can prepare an important question paper like that, based on the what is being repeated again and again, and you can and you can hope for the same questions in the exam. So thank you.